Thank you very much for joining us today, and very warm welcome to all of you who are here online with us. Today, we are going to talk about Business Network for Logistics, the powerful SAP tool that can help you gaining visibility to your transportation, as well as allowing you to collaborate with your business partners in a seamless way. My name is Katarina. I'm part of the Westernacher team Europe practice here, and I lead a team of enthusiastic consultants and architects specializing in visibility and collaboration. And I'm very happy to have here with me Bhargavi, our TM technical consultant who has plenty of experience in business network solution. We are going to be very pragmatic with this session today. So at the end of this webinar, you would have a better understanding about how Business Network can help you in your daily operations to increase visibility across the supply chain and how you could digitalize communication and cooperation with your logistics partners. For those who haven't heard yet about the Westernacher, we are a global consulting company with a local execution capability, having more than 800 consultants across the globe, headquartered in Heidelberg, Germany. We focus on technology-driven innovations covering entire supply chain. What is interesting about us is that we are 100% employee-owned company, and over 2 years, we are fully carbon neutral. We have more than half century of experience with special focus on the digital supply chain, whether it is warehousing, transportation, yard logistics, or business planning. And we have been partnering with SAP for 30 years for now. And throughout these times, we have been delivering innovations, global solutions, pioneering different technologies, applications, and driving digitalization and automation. That is briefly about us as a Westernacher. Now, let me briefly explain what SAP Business Network is about and how can help you to anticipate disruption and mitigate risks. Last couple of years, we live in near constant disruption era, facing various business challenges, whether it is related to fragmented supply chain, having too many siloed systems, lots of manual processing lacking any automation, or unexpected events caused by weather conditions, for example. Restricted visibility and collaboration can create hidden risks to your business, be it disconnection between what you ordered and where it is, or what you purchased and what was delivered. Almost half of the companies report no or low level of collaboration in the key supply chain area. And only 1 or 2 out of 10 global companies are sufficiently protected against disruption. And this is why cross-company collaboration is more and more relevant than ever. Overall, what we see, there are 3 imperatives addressing these business challenges. Starting with the transparency, supply chain transparency, it is necessary to exchange real-time information with all the training partners, having visibility into the supply chain processes that could help you with early detection of the potential issues. Once you have that in place, as well as build relationship to ensure capacity and alternative shipping solutions, you'll be ready to prevent or react fast to potential capacity shortages, for example, or lower inventory levels. Resiliency, meaning ability to respond quickly to the disruptions, to operate under new circumstances and being not only able to recover, but even to improve the operational level in a timely manner. This can involve, for example, broadening your supply chain base or having alternative suppliers do the nearshoring, or perhaps to achieve a faster product introduction and substitution, faster reactions, and more precise recalls by track and tracing materials across the supply chain. And the third, there comes sustainability. Sustainability grows on its importance day by day lately, whether it relates to transparency of carbon emissions, measuring and managing real CO2 footprint, not only in transportation space, but also in scope 1 or 2, to reduce regulatory risks and environmental footprint. We see today very fragmented and inefficient ways of communication and collaborations. still using lots of phone calls or emails, or few that are more advanced using, for example, EDIs or various platforms. Nevertheless, all this is not only expensive, but also very time-consuming and inefficient. This is why we observe a rising demand for solutions that could address such challenges and help with the collaboration. And this is where the SAP Business Network can be your go-to solution. SAP Business Network can help you right away to connect people, to connect processes and systems across multiple enterprises, digitalizing transactions and creating transparent, resilient, and sustainable supply chain. SAP Business Network is not only a marketplace with plenty of trading partners, and by trading partners here we mean mostly carriers, logistics service providers, and suppliers, but also Business Network is an enabler to extend your system core processes into your partner systems processes. So to put it simply, SAP Business Network sits between your company application and your trading partners' applications. It covers a wide range of functional areas and multiple business processes, whether it is in area of the procurement, finance, asset management, or logistics. Business Network supports you in finding and discovering the partners. It helps you with order collaboration, planning, inventory, as well as forecasting. You can easily assess supply risks. You can easily exchange invoices with your partners in a fully digital way that helps you to minimize errors and reduce manual work. Asset management module, for example, supports digital twin of your assets, or even covers new business models such as equipment as a service. It offers 360-degree view into your assets and offers collaborative maintenance and service. Then, for example, in the finance area, the Business Network supports various supply chain financing, working capital management capabilities, dynamic discounting, and receivable financing with trading partners. And finally, contingent workplace collaboration is to ensure you have right resources at right time to support your business. So Business Network, as you can see, is a network of networks. And each of these sub-networks can be used individually, yet they all contribute to each other. And moreover, they are highly integrated with various SAP solutions, such as S/4HANA procurement, EWM, transportation management, procurement management, or fiberglass. So that's very, in a nutshell, like what is the Business Network about? And of course, we could talk more and more about each of these modules. However, we have very limited time today. So let's double click into the logistics. Bhargavi, could you walk us through the Business Network for Logistics module to understand its capabilities and how we can benefit by implementing it in daily operations?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Katarina, for the overview and for setting the context for me. Now, as you know, supply chains have multiple entities that contribute and that interact with that supply chain, like freight forwarders, customers, suppliers, and of course the carriers. There could also be other actors involved, like other networks, for example, visibility providers like ShipU or Project 44. Each of these probably use different systems or different ways of communicating with each other. How do we address this, or how do we bring these entities together? SAP Business Network for Logistics, as you would have understood by now, is SAP's collaborative cloud network that empowers logistics businesses to work together more easily than ever before. The Business Network for Logistics provides you with this platform to effectively collaborate between different entities in the supply chain, a place that serves as a single source of truth, a platform to exchange documents, and also to expand your network. This open and secure platform is available as a software as a service and runs on SAP Business Technology Platform. It provides you with out-of-the-box solutions and add-ons to facilitate this, 4 of which you see on the screen right now. Business Network Freight Collaboration is one of the solutions that improves supply chain efficiency by connecting the business partners on a standardized collaborative network that supports jointly managing transactions, exchanging documents, and sharing insights across the value chain, and hence provides you with a streamlined process. So, involved business partners have access to a shared platform with real-time access to the same information anytime and anywhere. This leads to greater transparency and improved efficiency, and subsequently helps with better decision making. Automating and digitizing processes and receiving disruption notification also leads to delay reductions and ultimately to higher customer satisfaction. The Business Network Global Track and Trace solution is used to capture, process, store tracking information about goods in transit or about your order fulfillment. It allows business users to get real-time transparency of the execution of their shipments, and thanks to alerts, you can now manage by exception, hence again improving your operational efficiency and resulting in higher customer satisfaction. The material traceability solution improves transparency, visibility, sustainability, and efficiency by connecting the entire supply chain. It creates a trust chain for up and downstream product genealogy, and it is augmented by blockchain technology. You can better understand with this how product batches and events relate to one another, and very importantly, you can identify the prominence of each component and track it back to its source and to alert corresponding partners or stakeholders if there are any product issues. The Business Network Intelligent Insights is an add-on to the Freight Collaboration and the Global Track and Trace. It's a highly customizable data visualization and reporting platform that represents real-time insights on your supply chain execution. It provides superior visibility and key performance indicators across regions, networks, and applications. It offers you with top-down analytics to identify the bottlenecks or to detect exceptions or deviations by providing you with situational awareness of your global supply chain movements. This add-on aggregates data from various options of the logistics business network, for example, like the freight collaboration and the global track and trace. And you can use something called as stories to describe the data using different kinds of charts, dashboards, and maps. So this facilitates you to perform analysis, predictions, and risk control on your supply chain with optimum efficiency. You can also use something called as predefined stories, which helps you in analyzing, for example, carriers' performance or shipments across various geographical locations or the business processes, amongst other things. The ultimate goal is to help you take actions or make decisions. In other words, it helps you with the transition from being reactive to being proactive. Now I would like to get into the freight collaboration solution in more detail. As explained before, the freight collaboration streamlines collaboration and communication amongst involved logistics parties and supports the entire life cycle from planning to subcontracting until the settlement process. It allows for digital exchange of documents during each of these steps between the involved parties. The Business Network Freight Collaboration offers out-of-the-box connectivity to shippers with SAP Transportation Management Standalone or Transportation Management embedded in S/4HANA, and can seamlessly interact with carriers based on SOAP APIs or web UIs. Integration using global standards such as EDIFACT or ANSI are also supported. Now, what are the benefits of this solution? Collaboration between parties using this cloud-based solution can greatly improve transportation and logistics operations, because whether it is the shippers, the LSPs, or the carriers, they will have real-time access to the relevant information, which leads to more efficient transportation planning and execution, and thus reduces lead times and hence lowers the cost. In other words, such a streamlined process means higher efficiency and agility, and allows for swift response to changing demands or changing market conditions. With FC, you can reduce phone calls and exchange of emails and handle the whole communication in a fully digital way. You can adjust plans on accurate expected time of arrival, reduce truck waiting times, congestions, or idle penalty fines by efficient dock appointment management and gate processing. Now, looking into the capabilities of the main capabilities of FC in more detail. As a part of freight planning, you as a shipper could follow the freight contracting process, where the ordering party sends a freight request for quotation to the carrier. The carrier confirms or rejects the freight RFQ, and the ordering party receives the carrier's response, and this can be an iterative process. Another scenario could be that in the transportation management system, or even in an external planning transportation system, the ordering party performs the freight planning to select from the list of already contracted carriers and later sends the freight order to get the confirmation from the carrier. Imagine a scenario where the carrier comes at the last moment saying that, sorry, I cannot execute the shipment. It is so easy with freight collaboration to send the pre-planned shipment to one or other multiple carriers via tendering or to find alternatives. Now, carriers can book appointments and plan properly the time they will take for each activity at the pickup or the delivery site. And by doing this, shippers would also know at what time the carriers will come and better manage or plan their resources at the warehouse. This also gives the opportunity to the shipper to reschedule appointments which are overdue, thus allowing for better management of resources. The carriers can provide updates to the ordering parties about the transportation of their freight. For example, if one of the delivery trucks is delayed en route, the carrier can send this delay notification so the ordering party can replan if required. Additionally, the carriers can also upload and send documents such as proof of delivery or proof of pickup to their ordering parties. Of course, the ordering parties can view the status of the execution of their freight documents, the planned and unplanned events, etc., in the freight collaboration portal. Invoice creation can be one of your most inefficient or redundant processes. Another very important functionality provided by the freight collaboration is providing the carriers the capability to do self-billing or create invoices by themselves with just a few clicks. In case of exceptions, the carriers can also raise a dispute, which can then be resolved digitally, with both shippers and carriers having instant updates and having the same picture at the whole, during the whole time. Automating this process not only saves both the shipper and the carrier a lot of effort, which probably required a lot of back and forth communication, but it also reduces errors due to manual inputs. This is, in a nutshell, the freight collaboration solution from SAP Business Network for logistics. Reiterating myself, using FC, you streamline the collaboration between different entities in the supply chain, from the ordering to the delivery, and information exchange is instant. Now, going to the visibility solution. Thanks to the global track and trace solution, it is so easy to have an instant view into what is happening with the freight prior to its arrival or after departing from your site. It is possible to get frequent updates about the exact position of the shipment, to have a calculated estimated time of arrival, to know about completed milestones or even unplanned delays, or also to see on a map where exactly your cargo is. All this thanks to direct inputs from the carriers or by leveraging the network of visibility providers. Moreover, GTT also helps you in analyzing the impact of the situation and to notify the stakeholders. Thanks to automated alerts, rather than checking all the shipments one by one, you can manage by exception and take the necessary actions. Imagine being alerted by email about the possible delay which is impacting your manufacturing processes. This enables you to proactively adjust your production plan if necessary, and maybe even source the material from another supplier. Or another example could be that in a multimodal shipment, if one of the legs is expected to be delayed, based on these insights, you can reschedule the subsequent legs and maybe also replan those on another mode of transport. These are some of the practical examples on how you can leverage the global track and trace solution. Now I will present to you using a video, the solution actually in the system. So this gives you a brief glance of the global track and trace solution. Highlighted is the fulfillment tracking apps, where you can see you can do the tracking based on various documents. You can track shipments, you can monitor inbound ASNs, track the sales order, the purchase order. And since the time this video is made, there's also a new app provided by SAP to track outbound deliveries. Imagine a scenario where at the customer service center, you get a call from your customer asking about the exact status of their order. You can use the track sales order fulfillment app and drill down into the details. Here, if you see already at a glance, the customer service representative already has a fair idea of the orders using key indicators like the OTIF, the on time in full delivery status, to know which orders exactly might be late or might be partially delivered, or even the fulfillment rate. But for this example, you know the order number, so you can use the filter criteria and get the exact order asked for by the customer. Here you get to know the sold to party, the ship to party, the net value, the fulfillment rate, and you see that the order is in execution, however, there is a delay. You'll drill down into further details, and here you see, for example, the net value of this order is 503 euros, and the delay is causing an impact of approximately 16% or 80 euros of the order. So you can also see further down the items which are included in this order, the products, the order quantity, the value per item, and fulfillment rate per item. You can drill down into the item which looks problematic. Here you will see that all the milestones have been completed. The goods except the delivery milestone has been completed. So the goods issue has been done, but the delivery itself is not yet completed. As opposed to the other items, where if you scroll back, you will see that the other items are 100% fulfilled and all the milestones here have been completed. You also have a view on the document flow here, where you have a very nice color-coded way of showing exactly which sales order item, which delivery item, and which shipment is delayed. you drill down into the shipment itself. And here you see the source location, the destination location, and very importantly, the planned arrival at and the estimated time of arrival. So here you can see it is already calculated a delay of approximately 4 hours, and this has been updated into the system. You also have a very nice map view where in the map you can see exactly where your cargo is at this point of time. So this, in a nutshell, is the global track and trace solution in the actual system, and hope you liked it. So going ahead, we at Westernacher have prepared a time to value solution for you that consists of packages with predefined scope and that can be implemented for you in a few weeks on your current landscape. Whether you use SAP Transportation Management standalone or S/4HANA, which is already a great start, we can easily integrate your freight orders, freight bookings, etc., with the freight collaboration solution or the global track and trace solution. On the other hand, if you're using the ECC solution, this is not a problem. Then as well, we can offer the ERP integration package to integrate with the global track and trace solution. We could also integrate SAP TM directly with the visibility providers if that's what you would like. Or we could also integrate with the integrated business planning or IBP for greater visibility, because we truly believe in end-to-end supply chain visibility via the supply chain control tower. What exactly is the supply chain control tower and how do we envision this integration? So the supply chain control tower represents different levels of visibility. The first two levels are already becoming the standard nowadays and is about transparency and proactive alerting, where we can perform diagnostics in order to understand retrospectively and see what and why a particular problem occurred and proactively to see what might happen. To go one step further, we can have a tool in place to support our decision making and effectively suggest a recommendation, not only considering historical data, but also taking into account the real-time conditions and constraints. And even more advanced is the prescriptive approach, where the decisions are somehow automated through artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, or other technologies that links strategic and operational supply chain planning with real-time visibility, response, and execution all in one place. For example, continuing with our earlier example, having the automatic replanning of subsequent legs in a multimodal shipment, considering the expected time of arrival of the predecessor legs. So if one leg is delayed, you don't need to go and replan manually the subsequent legs, but the system replans it automatically for you. Now, I would take you through some success stories that we at Westernacher have had with the implementation of Business Network for logistics. The first one is a freight collaboration implementation. Our client, Aldara, is a multinational leader in the agricultural industry, operational in more than 20 countries in the Middle East and Asia. Their main pain points were regarding the lack of transparency in the supply chain because every entity was working in its own silos. The lack of harmonization and automation, which means they lacked harmonization and automation, which means there was a lot of manual intervention needed, resulting in delays and manual errors. So what we did was we analyzed the processes and found that SAP Transportation Management with the business networks for logistic freight collaboration solution was a good fit. our proposed solution included an automated order management process for the road and ocean modes of transport. We designed and built a robust landscape that also included integration of their non-SAP ERP system with the SAP Transportation Management System and using Business Network for logistics to connect with external partners. In the first phase, around 13 land carriers were onboarded and also several ocean carriers via Descartes, who is a visibility provider, and also a B2B connection to Agility, who is one of their biggest third-party partners, was connected into the same landscape. So today, planning and order management takes place in SAP TM, while Business Network for Logistics is acting as the central piece, accumulating insights from various sources, connecting and helping multiple parties with the documentation, order confirmation, events reporting, and freight settlement, which is all happening in the freight collaboration and then sent back to the SAP Transportation Management System. The outcome is that today Aldara has a modern logistics platform that serves as a single version of the truth, and all parties involved have a unified view of the freight status, which helps preventing delays, avoids miscommunication, and manually introduced errors. They gained visibility into the road and ocean transport and eliminated manual tasks and errors. Shortly after the implementation, they managed to decrease transactional costs by 25%, managed to increase efficiency by 70% due to electronic invoice verification, and they saved approximately 1 working day per week due to automatic freight order handling. It's really impressive. These statistics are quite impressive. Now, coming to our next, more recent customer who went live with the SAP Global Track and Trace Visibility Solution. Their first phase, they went live in November last year, and the most recent being in July this year. This client specialized in agricultural science and biotechnology products, specializing on seed and crop protection, and they were seeking real-time visibility into their ocean and road transports. They were interested in key transportation information such as your departure, arrival, delay, and location updates, which we received with integration with the visibility provider Project 44, and also received information like the estimated time of arrival. This was a SAP Global Track and Trace implementation with ECC as the backend and with the visibility provider as Project 44 for truck and ocean tracking. When we started off, there were about 5 road carriers and 6 ocean carriers that were onboarded onto GTT. And this was gradually increased to include all the carriers that they were using. Here, we also introduced some custom logic for pseudo shipments because this customer was not using the standard ERP shipment object, but only the standard delivery document. So these pseudo shipments were then passed to GTT and was used to do further tracking. This client gained full port-to-port visibility for intercompany movements from plant to plant in EMEA and APAC region based on the container ID, and they now have a pretty good understanding of where the goods are at any moment. They also tracked LTL and full truckloads in Europe from door to door, and use the license plate for tracking in Business Network for Logistics, Global Track and Trace. And thanks to the notifications, they were able to focus on the problematic flows or those that require attention, and hence they could make decisions very fast. The first phase was completed in less than 4 months, little less than 4 months, after which we also gradually increased the scope to enable STOs, PO tracking, and inbound shipment tracking. These were just two examples of how we at Westernacher have helped customers with visibility and collaboration. We have multiple ongoing projects and more than 5 prospects in the pipeline. As mentioned before, we can implement this solution for you in a very short time, thanks to the predefined time to value packages that we have. Or if you're still a little bit hesitant to go full throttle, we can also do a proof of concept to ensure that you're on the right track. That is, you can start with a small pilot and then scale up as per your needs. We could also arrange a reference call for you in case you want to hear from our existing customers who already went on this journey with us in order to exchange experiences and impressions. Collaborate, automate, and be ready to expect the unexpected. And Business Network for Logistics is a solid platform to make all this happen. And we from Westernacher, of course, very happy to help you. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thanks a lot for a brilliant presentation, Bhargavi. Now, let me have a look whether we have any questions. And in case you haven't submitted your question in, now is the time to do so. So go ahead. Okay, I see the first question. With your experience, how open are the carriers to get onto the network? Do they respond well to the solution? Maybe Bhargavi, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah. So we have had a mixed response from the carriers. It, of course, depends on their own strategy. For example, if the carriers want to get onto the network and expand their reach, they are, of course, more open to the solution. It also depends largely on the size. I mean, how strong their IT team is, for example. Currently, the carriers themselves are not charged for getting onto the network. So I see it as the win-win situation for them.
Thank you. Then we have another question. What are the reasons for partners not willing to join the network? Okay, that's a nice one. Thank you for the question. And I'll maybe take this one. Yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, there is the situation when some of the carriers are not very willing to join the SAP Business Network. And the reasons can differ and depend on the region, for example, or can depend on the size of the carriers, right? So, I mean, the bigger the carrier is, the high likely you can get the question like, why should I join your network, right? Or potentially there might be also some concerns about the data protection or the privacy, right? So if that is the case, I believe it is very important to talk to the partner, to understand the roots of their concerns, to address and clarify their hesitations. And usually after such discussions, most of the points get explained, and then the carriers are more open to join the network. In case you would potentially face such a situation in the future and you would need the support, either we at Westernacher or even SAP can help you, who have the dedicated onboarding team dealing exactly with such a situation. So I hope that that answers your question. Okay, another question, maybe this can go again, Bhargavi, to you. What if some carriers are rather small and not experienced with technology? Do they have any option how to join the network, or do all of the carriers need to use the same approach?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. So some carriers with not a very strong or large IT team, but on the other hand, really want to join the network, they prefer, there is always the option of using the web UIs in case of freight collaboration. They're very intuitive and easy to use UIs. And this is one approach. And in case of the global track and trace solution, they use the visibility. They come through the network of visibility providers, and these are the two options for these carriers to join the network. As a shipper, you can have a mix of carriers. Not all of them need to use the same way of communicating with the network. You can have some carriers using the web UIs, and you can have others which connect via the B2B or uh, EDI or ANSI. So it can be a mix of all these ways of communicating with the network.
Wonderful, thank you. And we have a question which is related to what you just said. Can a new customer leverage already integrated carriers? And if yes, how many carriers are web and EDI and say integrated? I would say that definitely, of course, the new customers can leverage already integrated carriers, and this is actually the idea, right? So once you are already in the network, you can collaborate with whoever else is in the network, right? So you can collaborate with those partners which you are used to work, but also you can explore the other carriers which are on the network, and you can reach out to them, you can connect with them, and you can extend your partnership from that perspective. And to answer the second part of the question, so how many carriers are web and how many EDI integrated? That is very difficult to answer because that information is basically changing on daily basis, right? So there are a lot of new carriers and a lot of new shippers and as a businesses joining the business network. And I believe that also depends on the size of the carriers. As Bhargavi was also mentioning, you might have the carriers which are not that much technological experience or they don't have the savviness. And for them, it is way more easier to go with the web approach. And then on the other hand, you might have another carriers which are more already used to use the certain integration, whether it's APIs or EDIs. So that number can differ. And also it could be that at the beginning, let's say a carrier is onboarded via web, a UI, and then later on they build the integration as well. That is also the case. Another question. If a carrier is onboarded by a partner client on the business network for logistics, will they be available also for other clients? Like if they are onboarded once, are they available for who's only on the business network for logistics? Do you want to take this, Bhargavi?
Yeah, if the carrier is onboarded into the network, they can choose to make their account public, and they will also be available for anybody else to also connect to them. So this is an option. So once the carrier is onboarded onto the network, they can also be made available to other clients. That's possible, yes.
Yeah, I also like to have this parallel with the Facebook or Instagram, right? So you can have either public profile or the private one. So that's up to your decision. So both are possible. Okay, we have another question here. Is it possible to do the tendering for the ocean loads? Maybe I can say about this one, and then Bhargavi, if you want to elaborate, you can also add. So I would say that until recently, there was not real demand for such a process. However, post-COVID situation changed the market and such requirements starts to appear more and more, at least what we see and hear when we are talking to various companies. So if that requirement continues to be demanded, SAP might reconsider and introduce this capability, which is nowadays not available. There is a very nice tool, SAP Customer Influence Portal, where one can submit ideas, which are then very frequently reviewed by the SAP, and based on the votes are evaluated and considered into the roadmap potentially. And one thing which we haven't actually mentioned so far, but it's very, very interesting to know, I believe, is that Business Network is the most rapidly evolving SAP product with the frequent releases on a monthly basis, which means basically that each month there are new improvements and new enhancements introduced. So as to answer your question, as of today, tendering for the ocean loans is not available, but there are ways how you can influence it. And if there is a demand, potentially this can appear on the roadmap of the Business Network for the logistics. Okay. Yeah, we have maybe time for one more question. So you talk about idea of business network, but if you must point out major reasons why companies would want to be part of the business network, what this would be? Okay. I genuinely believe, and this is also the SAP vision behind the business network, that by connecting your entire supply chain digitally, you can eliminate siloed manual processes that hinder your ability to adapt to the change. So SAP Business Network helps businesses to overcome challenges in three ways: unified, collaborative, and intelligent way. By unify, I mean streamlining the partner management and ensuring the maximum adoption. To connect with all your partners on one platform, and even to discover new training partners when needed. This is what we had already the question before, right? So you can explore other trading partners which are on the network, and you can connect with them. Collaborative way means basically helping to eliminate the process breakdowns between your business and the business of your trading partners. And the third, intelligent in terms of moving beyond reporting. So having modern and intuitive user interface, offering all key insights at a glance, so you can sense and respond to change rapidly. So these are, I would say, the major reasons why companies like you would want to be part of the SAP Business Network. Let me check if we have any further questions. Yeah. Well, I don't see any more any questions. Despite we have like a few minutes left. Nevertheless, I will give you back the 10 minutes in this busy period. So thanks a lot again for your participation, and big thanks to Bhargavi for sharing her insights with us. I believe now all of you have a little bit better understanding how Business Network can help your business to achieve a holistic visibility and how to improve your daily operation. In any case, we will be very happy to support you with the implementation. So do not hesitate to contact us, to reach out to us in case you have any questions, in case you would like to discuss further what benefits can be brought to your company, to your business. We can have, as Bhargavi was mentioning, we can have a proof of concept, we can have discussions. So we are happy to help. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. You have the contact details here, and we'll be happy to stay in touch with you. That being said, have a great day today, and moreover, wishing you all merry and magical Christmas seasons. Thank you very much.
Thank you.